Every so often, you hear a story that makes you rethink everything you thought you knew about aging. Like the man who ran a marathon at 101, or the nun who completed an Ironman in her 80s, or the 95-year-old who took up bodybuilding just to see if he could grow abs and did. These are not superheroes. They are ordinary people who somehow broke the rules of time, and they force us to ask a question we rarely stop to ask. Why do some people grow old while others just grow? Let's start with Physiology Singh, known as the Turbaned Tornado. Born in rural India in 1911, he didn't even put on a pair of running shoes until he was 89. By the time most people are downsizing their lives, Physiology was lacing up for the Toronto Waterfront Marathon. At 101, he became the oldest man ever to run 42 kilometers, finishing with a smile and a beard that could rival Gandalf's. His secret? Simple food, no alcohol, no stress, and daily gratitude. He told reporters, "I just keep moving forward because stopping makes me feel old." Then there's Sister Madonna Buder, the Iron Nun. At 82, she crossed the Ironman triathlon finish line, 3.8 kilometers of swimming, 180 kilometers of cycling, and a full marathon run. When asked how she trains, she said, "I pray on the bike, meditate while swimming, and talk to God during the run. And sometimes I argue with him on the uphill parts." And Ed Whitlock, the quiet Canadian who ran loops in the cemetery every day. At 85, he finished a marathon in under 4 hours. When scientists analyzed his muscle fibers, they found barely any inflammation, and slow twitch endurance fibers meant 40 years younger. And this was published in Frontiers in Physiology in 2017. Imagine that, surrounded by gravestones, training among reminders of mortality, Ed Whitlock literally outran death. And these aren't isolated miracles. There's Ernestine Shepherd, who still wakes at 4 a.m. to lift weights in her late 80s, Charles Uxter, who took up competitive sprinting and bodybuilding in his 90s, and Hiromu Inada, who finished the Ironman World Championship in Kona, Hawaii at 86. They are walking, swimming, running, grinning. Data points that whisper a truth our society's forgotten. Aging is not purely biological, it's behavioral. So what's their secret? Naturally, we assume there's a trick. Maybe they have magic genes. Maybe they're on expensive supplements. Maybe it's access to elite healthcare, cutting-edge therapies, secret peptides from Silicon Valley labs. Let's test those ideas. Hypothesis 1. Genetics. Tempting, but wrong. A massive Danish twin study found that only about 25% of lifespan differences are genetic. Genes load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. Hypothesis 2. Medicine. Also no, most super-agers live far from advanced hospitals or rehab centers. Physiology Singh trained on village roads. Okinawan elders live hours from major healthcare facilities, and Sardinian shepherds rarely see doctors, unless they're delivering a baby goat. Hypothesis 3. Supplements or fancy tech. Again, no. Long-term human trials on Ironman, resveratrol, or rapamycin are still inconclusive, and most of these athletes couldn't even pronounce those compounds. So what's left? What keeps their bodies young and their spirits fierce when the rest of us groan getting off the couch? To find out, we go from the marathon route to the MRI scanner. At Northwestern University, neuroscientist Dr. Emily Rogolsky spent 15 years studying people over 80 who performed on memory tests like they were 50. She called them Super-Agers. Brain scans showed thicker anterior cingulate cortex, the region responsible for focus and motivation, and higher counts of von economoneurons, which handle empathy and social intuition. And when Rogolsky compared their habits, one thing stood out. They were curious, engaged, socially active. A 2022 study in Frontiers of Aging Neuroscience found these people had remarkably high emotional resilience and stronger social ties than their peers. In short, they didn't just stay smart, they stayed interested, which might explain why isolation and apathy shrink brains faster than birthdays. Every time I run, my knees complain, so like any self-respecting modern human, I blame my shoes. Then I go out and buy new ones. More cushion, more carbon plate, more promises, and yet the next run, my knees still hurt. Then I look at Falja Singh, running in modest trainers that probably cost less than my breakfast, and realize maybe it's not the shoes, maybe it's the lifestyle. These super-agers don't work out, they just move. All day, every day. They walk, they garden, they kneel, stretch, carry, dance. Their joints don't revolt because they never went on strike. Their bodies aren't shocked by motion, they are fluent in it. Biomechanically, that constant low-impact movement keeps cartilage nourished, ligaments strong, and proprioception sharp. They don't outsource movement to 1 hour gym membership, they weave it into living. We, on the other hand, sit for 10 hours, then expect one punishing HIIT session to undo it. Our bodies aren't old, they are confused. While they move by day, they recover by night. Around 9 p.m., your pineal gland begins secreting melatonin, cueing every organ to switch to repair mode. Between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., your body releases growth hormone, the molecule responsible for tissue regeneration, collagen production, and fat metabolism. Now you miss that window and you cut short your nightly renovation project. No wonder chronic night hours have lower growth hormone, higher cortisol, and accelerated biological aging. Super-agers don't just sleep, they obey sleep. They rise with sunlight, rest after dusk, and then let circadian rhythm conduct its hormonal symphony. It's not biohacking, it's biology. Honored, not overdriven. And there are entire communities that live like this without trying. They are known as the Blue Zones, the world's longevity hotspots. In Okinawa, Japan, grandmothers in their 90s still plant sweet potatoes and laugh over tea with their moa, lifelong friends. Their telomeres are longer and their IGF levels are lower than the average Westerner. In Sardinia, Italy, mountain shepherds walk miles uphill daily, often well into their 90s, chatting and joking along the way. In Icaria, Greece, the locals nap, drink wine, and forget to die. Dementia rates are half the global average. In Loma Linda, California, Seventh-day Adventists live about 7 years longer than their neighbors, thanks to plant-based diets and a weekly 24-hour Sabbath that lowers stress hormones. Now, different foods, different faves, but the same secret recipe. They move naturally, they sleep early, they eat simply, and they belong to one another. They didn't invent longevity, they just lived it. So when scientists zoom in on these super-agers, their blood, their muscle fibers, their brain scans, the same patterns keep repeating. But here's the truth. None of it came from a capsule, clinic, or cryotherapy chamber. It came from habits so simple, they have become invisible. Number 1, high mitochondria efficiency. Their cells burn energy cleanly, producing fewer free radicals and more stamina. And no, you can't buy that on iHerb. You earn it through sustained Zone 2 cardio, the kind where you can still talk but not sing. So brisk walking, cycling, swimming, dancing, hiking, it's unsexy, it's repetitive, but it's quietly powerful. Zone 2 is where your mitochondria multiply and learn to use oxygen efficiently. Sprints are fireworks. Zone 2 is sunrise. You don't notice it building power until one day you realize you can go forever. Number 2, low inflammation. Now, super-agers show how interleukin-6 and CRP, the blood markers of inflammation, are very low. That doesn't come from a detox drink or turmeric gummy. You can't pour alcohol into your liver, chase it with a bounce-back pill, and imagine 2 glasses of celery juice will erase the damage by brunch. That's not detox, that's denial. Their secret is restraint. They simply don't keep lighting the match. They eat mostly white, unprocessed food, vegetables, legumes, fish, olive oils, nuts. They sleep, they move, they rest. Every meal is an email to your immune system. Calm down or gear up. They just send fewer all-caps messages. Number 3, preserved muscle protein synthesis. One of the strongest predictors of youth isn't skin elasticity, it's muscle mass. Super-agers keep it because they never stop using it. I once had a patient who thought weight training meant showing up at the gym twice a week and refusing to lift a finger otherwise at home. She wouldn't even carry a sack of rice from the supermarket to her car because, in her own words, that's what delivery boys are for. Meanwhile, the super-agers may never have owned a gym membership, but their lives were workouts. They will walk or cycle everywhere, even in their 80s. They carry groceries, water buckets, pots of plants, grandchildren. Every day is resistance training disguised as living. Each contraction triggers mTOR pathways that tell the body we still need strength here. It's use it or lose it encoded in protein synthesis. And the reward? Stronger bones, steadier glucose, better balance, and dignity in motion. If aerobic fitness keeps you alive longer, muscle keeps you independent longer. Number 4, balanced hormones. Cortisol, insulin, growth hormones aren't villains, they are rhythms. When you're chronically stressed and underslept, that rhythm turns into chaos. Super-Agers protect their balance with early nights, natural light, and simple rituals. Prayers, gardening, laughter, quiet. Low nighttime cortisol means growth hormone can clock in to rebuild skin and muscle. You can't out-supplement a body that's begging for rest. You have to sleep it young again. Number 5, robust neuroplasticity. Brains, like muscles, shrink from neglect. Super-Agers keep their supple by engaging, arguing, laughing, learning. In Okinawa, they meet their moe friends every morning. In Sardinia, they trade gossip across mountain trails. In Loma Linda, they volunteer, mentor, and teach. Each interaction releases dopamine and BDNF, brain fertilizer for new neurons. Now, neuroplasticity doesn't thrive in solitude. It's built in community. So none of this is reserved for the privileged few. It's biology, open source code. Super-Agers simply did the simple things longer, better, and with joy. We live in a world obsessed with erasing wrinkles while neglecting the habits that cause them. We inject, ingest, and biohack, but forget that biology still answers to sunlight, sleep, and serotonin. Super-Agers don't fight aging, they partner it. They understand that youth is not a number, it's a rhythm. They eat when the sun's up, sleep when it's dark, and move whenever life asks them to. And while they've never heard of intermittent fasting, zone 2 cardio, or circadian entrainment, they are already doing all three instinctively. So the next time your knees ache and you're tempted to blame your shoes, pause. Maybe it's not your footwear. Maybe it's your lifestyle whispering, move more often, not harder. Because these extraordinary elders don't have miracle genes or secret doctors. They just live in tune with their bodies, their communities, and the planet that keeps time for all of us. Maybe the secret to longevity isn't about extending life. It's about deepening it, one walk, one laugh, one sunrise at a time.